Hey guys, what is going on? I know I said that I wouldn't really be doing videos, but you know what? I'm not gonna let the new stupid terms of service stop me from doing what I love. I'm gonna continue to make videos, whether this channel deletion thing is just a rumor or if it's true. Yeah, it's devastating and we're not sure what it's all about yet, but we shouldn't let that stop us from making videos. If we want to make videos, we should continue to make videos. So yeah. Now this video is gonna be about getting yelled at. Two of my favorite YouTubers, The Weed is Heat 96 and Blake McAlpine 2002, I think that's his username. They both did videos about getting yelled at. And they made me want to do a video on this too. Because I'm a lot like them, you know. So yeah. Now, most people, when they get yelled at, you know, they can, yeah, they may not like it, and you know, it may not feel good, but they can just, you know, it can just roll off their back, you know. They can just say, okay, whatever, and then they just go on about their day. People like me, I am more sensitive to getting yelled at. Okay, guys, I'm a sensitive person. I know some of you guys are gonna think I'm a pathetic crybaby or something, but yeah. And no, I'm not saying this as an excuse, but I think people who are on the spectrum have sensory issues. And yeah, I am on the spectrum. Yeah, I heard people who are on the spectrum, one of the symptoms of being on the spectrum is like sensory issues and they keep things in their head. So yeah, that's probably why I'm like that. But yeah, sometimes I'll feel like crying. Sometimes it makes me shake and makes me sweat and makes my heart beat. It gives me anxiety. So yeah, I have a hard time handling that. And I'm gonna tell you guys some stories of me getting yelled at. Just like The Weed is Heat 96 and Blake did. Now, these will not be in chronological order. These will just be in whatever order I decide. So, anyway, I'm gonna start with an incident that happened. And yes, I remember the exact day. It was Friday, November 30th, 2012. You know. And I didn't even do anything. This was just my dad taking his anger out on me. And, you know, we were having plumbing issues that morning. And it was before I went to school that morning, and he just kept yelling at me about it all morning. And oh my god, I don't remember crying, but it just made me feel so fucking sad all day. I mean, yeah, there really isn't much to that story. It was basically just that. But yeah, it just made me feel so depressed all day. Luckily, we had a pep rally that day that kind of helped cheered me up, but for a little bit, but since it was towards the end of the day, like, it really didn't last long because I was nervous about getting home and facing my dad again, because it was a work day and he was supposed to go to a Christmas party, but neither of them happened. We ended up having a talk back then, and he ended up apologizing, and yeah, he also, but yeah, I'm not talking shit about him. Don't get me wrong. I love my dad, and I love my dad. You've seen my video, how funny and laid back he can be. But yeah, if people, I get that people get mad, but people should not take their anger out on other people. If they are pissed off, they need to figure out better ways to release that anger, you know. Don't take your anger out on a person or a living thing. Like, I don't know, scream into a pillow, yell at an inanimate object, just anything is better than taking your anger out on someone. But yeah. And here's another time I got yelled at. This was I can't remember exactly when it was, but I believe it was in like May of 2017 sometime. So anyway, since the August before that, my parents were planning a trip to Virginia, and I seriously did not want to go. I have just been telling my parents for months that I didn't want to go, because long road trips are horrible, even when you're not driving, and which I may do a video on that later on. But anyway, one morning in May 2017, I believe it was, my mom and my dad had an argument about it. So later that morning, when I went into my mom's room, she had to talk to me about it, and like, and then when I went to her room, she was just like, I forgot what she said exactly, but she was like, so I told my dad that you didn't want to go to David and Angie's, and then I'm just like, oh God, because I knew it wasn't gonna end well. And then my mom was like, no, just listen to me. My dad told me that since we are a family, we should do things together. And as long as you live under this roof, you will do what we say. And yeah, she was just lecturing me and yelling at me about it. And she was also like, even 10-year-olds understand that. And I forgot what else she said, but those are the things I remember. I wanted so bad to tell her, well, I'm not 10, am I? I was 18 at the time, okay? So yeah, I know I'm 21 right now, but I was 18 at the time, so I wanted to just tell her, Well, I'm not 10, am I? I'm 18 and I should be able to make my own decisions. I really wanted to tell her that, but I obviously didn't, because that would just make things way worse. But yeah, it also made me cry and stuff, and like I was trying to hold in the tears because I don't want to cry for stupid reasons like that. And then my mom was like, "Don't cry." Well, you're making me cry because you're being rude and you're being inconsiderate and misunderstanding my point. So yeah, that also ruined my day, kind of. Luckily, we went to Big Sam's that day, and it made me feel a little bit better, but I was still stressed out because of it. Yeah. Parents, don't force your kids to go on a freaking 27-hour road trip because they're going to be miserable, and then they're going to make you miserable. And guess what? It's going to be on you because you didn't take the time in the thinking to listen to where your child is coming from. But yeah, again, I'm not talking shit about my mom, but I'm just saying she could have been a little more understanding, and I know that my dad probably got her in a bad mood because they were having an argument about me not wanting to go, but still, like I said, she shouldn't have taken her anger out on me, you know. She should have thought of a better way to handle it. But yeah, I'm hoping now that my parents are separated, this won't happen. You know, I'm crossing my fingers that this either doesn't happen or I am not forced to go if, for example, I don't know, my dad just goes, or if my parents do get back together in the future, which I kind of hope and hope not at the same time. But yeah, moving on. Now, here, another time I got yelled at was, okay, this was at the beginning of 2012. I think this was in April or May of 2012. Okay, I was really tired from STAAR testing and having fun in gym class afterwards because I was like being physical. Plus I was hot, so when I got on the bus, I wanted to, you know, lean my head on the window because that's what I liked to do on the afternoon, just kind of rest and relax. And then all of a sudden the bus driver, she just yells at me. I can't remember what she said exactly, but she said something like, "Sit up straight. If you keep misbehaving, you're gonna come sit in the front." And it was also embarrassing because because I was all the way in the back, and then like there were kids in the front that could hear her. So yeah. And yes, I don't remember crying, but it just got me in a bad mood. Like, ugh, if that fucking sucked. And here is another time I got yelled at on the bus. I forgot why I got yelled at, to be honest. I honestly don't remember why I got yelled at. But this was in I think this was in August 2014. August or September of 2014. Like, well, my regular bus doesn't, the regular bus I didn't ride comes to the came to the high school, we had 3 buses that picked us up from the high school, and we had to get on from the elementary school. And like, I don't know, she was just this was the bus monitor this time. She was just like giving me a lecture on how this was her bus and how I should follow her rules. I don't know. But yeah, it made me cry. I mean, luckily the bus monitor was understanding after that, and you know, she apologized and stuff, but still, that was not fun. And now this will be the last story I tell. I was in the 8th grade. I can't remember when this was, but I believe it was in the spring of 2012 sometime. My history teacher, he asked me to get my paper out. So I tried doing that. I tried getting my paper out. But apparently I wasn't fast enough. And he was like, "Get your paper out. When I say get your paper out, you do it." It's just like, patience, dude. I was gonna get my paper out. I was just trying to find it. Like, Jesus, you gotta be patient. We need time to find stuff and get stuff out. Not everyone can just go in a second, you know. It takes us time to find and get stuff out. Now, that didn't make me cry, but it just made me like really anxious. Like, my heart was beating, I was shaking, I was sweating, you know. Sometimes that happens. There's times where I'll cry, and then there's times where it'll just make me feel really anxious. But yeah, point is, I am extremely sensitive to getting yelled at. I know a lot of you guys are going to think I'm a crybaby, but I'm a sensitive person, and it's just how I handle it, okay? I know some of you guys are probably saying, "Shauna, you gotta let things roll off your back. You gotta stop making a big deal out of nothing, Shauna." And it's not that easy, guys. It's just the way I am. Some of us are just more sensitive to that type of stuff than others. Now, the only time I don't mind getting yelled at is if someone's like, let's say I'm like from a distance somewhere, or if someone's in another room and they want to like call me for something. "Hey, Shauna," that's fine. You know, that's fine. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like when people yell at you out of anger, discipline, disapproval, or just when they're doing something that they don't like, you know, that nonsense. But I don't mind it if someone's just trying to call me from far away, you know. That's a whole different deal. But yeah. So how about you guys? Are you guys like me? Are you guys more sensitive to getting yelled at than most people? Or can you guys handle it better? Let me know down in the comments. And if you want, you can also make a video about this too. I want to see your take on in some of your stories about getting yelled at. Anyway, that's going to be the video. I'll see you guys later.